In this video, I'm going to demo how to build a rocket factory, which is cool. So to do that, I'm going to use a few blocks which I've been working on recently. So this one, which is an attractor block, so you can see it's turned on currently, and it's attracted this block of snow. And once it gets sufficiently close to it, it makes like a full hard lock against it, and it can basically hold on to it against pretty much anything at that point. If I turn it off, then it lets go and, well, it can fall down that hole. So that attractor block, we've got this placer block, which is going to place blocks of snow in this case. And you can see it's got its own internal inventory, and that's what it places out of. It can also have pipes connected to it to give it new things to place. And this fellow, which is a little toggle, so every time, God, that's loud, every time, as I was saying, every time it receives a positive signal, it turns on, and then in the next time it receives a positive signal, it turns off. So this allows you some memory behavior, basically. So with these, I should be able to build a rocket factory over here. Now I've cheated slightly by putting all of the boring stuff in first, so I don't have to do it now. So I'm going to put in this rail. Now this rail is basically going to be the conveyor belt on which the rocket's built. Cool. And you see that basically travels along this rail. Now originally these things worked basically that you could put a positive signal in to move them forward, negative to move them backwards, and you still can do that. But it's quite difficult to get precise positioning like that. So put a new mode in, move to position. Now this move to position means that you can basically give it a number, and it'll move to that place. So if I give it a 6, moves to 6. If I give it a 1, moves back to 1. So that's cool. So now I'm going to build the rest of the trolley to basically hold the missiles as they're. I hope if I can put that the right way around. There we go. The rest of the missiles while they're being built. That unlucky. There we go. So this is basically going to be what the missiles are built on top of, and I'll put a placer in to start on building the very first bit. So I'm just going to give it some stone to build in. Also, I'm going to change these things mode so they just put it, basically turn that button on, it'll turn itself off again. So it'll just put one down rather than keeping on trying to put more and more. Now you see the way that I've got these two together. This is because when I place this, it doesn't try to attach it to the rest of the trolley because it's against another tractor. It instead places it as its own new machine, and you can see it's not quite lining up properly with anything because it's its own independent machine and it's fully entitled to be a couple of millimeters out. So that's the first bit of my my rocket. If we put a couple more places in to put, this one's going to put the engine on, that one's going to put an anti-grav on. So I put those in their inventories. There's the engines. Cool. And I am going to wire those up. I'm going to wire those together because we might as well make life a bit easier. Now, might notice my wires have just gone straight across the rail there. That's fine because wires don't actually have any collision shape against them, which I'm probably going to keep in the final game because it actually makes life easier. But anyway, so next step, we'll move along here to number 3, change this to a pulse behavior as well. So if I press the button, you see it's put anti-grav on the front, engine on the back, and because it's on pulse, the buttons turn itself back on off again, which avoids a whole bunch of potential issues. So now this last placer, well, not the last placer actually, now that I think about it, is going to put the explosive block on the front to make it actually a rocket rather than some weird flying thing. So move that along to position 5. Again, pulse. So now you can see it's pretty much a rocket. So it's got something to explode, something to let it fly, something to power it, and a bit of stone, because who doesn't need a bit of stone? But, and I realise I have actually built that one too low. So I'm just going to take that out, and I'm going to put it back in again at the right height. Because what that there is for is to put the circuitry on the top to basically to turn the engine on. Because in principle I could just put a button and manually turn it on, but I'd like not to do that, because I'm envisioning this actually being used as a, you connect the whole thing up and it's a one-click thing, rather than you have to go down into the bowels of wherever all this is happening to make it work. So I'm going to put a few places. So this last one is going to put a wire to connect into that engine. This one, toggle, so that when it turns the engine on, it keeps it turns on. And this is going to be a wire that's just sitting there. Now that'll make sense in a second, because it's going to receive a signal from somewhere else. So position number 7. Let's put some buttons in. Great, so let's put those on. And you can see, let's put the circuitry on. Now you see that's interesting. You see the way that it's put it on the wrong way around, so it's not going to work. Now I can manually correct that just by clicking on that edge, but I can tell the placer to put it in the right direction here. Interesting question, do I have a compass block? No, I do not. So I can tell it which direction to put it in, but in order to do that I need to actually know which direction north, south, east and west is. So look away, none of this is happening. I'm just going to put in cheat code to give myself a compass post, he says. Oh yeah, compass post, not compass tool. Great, there it is. Cool, none of that happened. So we want it to be placed going north. So I'm going to change it to north. Now I've already manually corrected this one, but the next one that comes in will come in the right way. And then finally, I'm going to move it up to position number 9. This is where it's going to actually be fired from, and this bit here is what's going to do the firing. So if I put in some circuitry, and then I'm going to put in this thing here, which is a brush contact. Probably going to need to give myself something to stand on actually to be able to do that. Okay, now this brush contact has this brush on it, and that is completely misaligned. It's supposed to align to this wire here. Okay, try that again. Okay, now you can see it's got that brush on the top of it. That brush goes onto that wire and is basically able to move signals between different machines. So if I click that on, it'll connect into that wire, the wire will go true, it will toggle this on, so it doesn't matter whether this stays true or not, and that engine will turn on and stay on, and this will be very bad for that mountain over there. Now, it's not always the case, but sometimes if I launch them just like this, it clips the edge of this trolley, and it doesn't go well for anyone. So I'm going to move the trolley out the way, and then this might go very badly. Let's see how it goes. Oh no, we're good. And there you go. Hit that mountain, took a big chunk out of it, and we just, by the skin of our teeth, missed this wall. So I'm quite happy about that. So I've reset it now to here, so I should be able to move it all through very quickly. There's one there. Move it to position 3. Put on the engine and the anti-grav. Move it to position 5. Put on the explosive block. Position 7. Put on all of this stuff. Cool, and you can see it's gone on the right way this time. Position 9. And let's see how that goes. Oh, got lucky. You can see that because the trolley was still in there, it did clip it slightly, so it ended up going in completely the wrong direction. But you know, it didn't explode, so that's good. And off it goes into the sunset. So there you have it. Now, I haven't done this, but you could imagine you could connect all of this up to a more complicated circuit out here, so that basically you could have a single button click and it do all of that and launch it out the front. So I can imagine you might put something like that in a capital ship. Now this is good in addition to being kind of cool. It's good because missiles aren't affected by shields and also do a lot more damage than energy projectors. So that's your reason for actually wanting to build something like this, in addition to just, you know, because it's cool. Now, it would appear that conveniently night is falling, so I'm going to end it there.